judgment and eternity. Part 4. What is the weeping and gnashing of teeth? Chapter 1. The Bible refers to weeping and gnashing of teeth. What is it? And who does it apply to? Jesus was probably mainly using this in reference to the Jews. It always refers to those who are already part of God's kingdom or household, not unsaved sinners. For a short while, we may have to face hell, weeping, and God's anger. But He preserves us.
Psalms 30. Lord, you have brought up my soul from Sheol. You have kept me alive, that I would not go down to the pit. Sing praise to the Lord, you His godly ones, and give thanks to His holy name. For His anger is but for a moment, His favour is for a lifetime. Weeping may last for the night, but a shout of joy comes in the morning.
See also Isaiah 54, verses 7 to 8. For a brief moment I forsook you. I hid my face from you for a moment, but with everlasting loving kindness I have compassion on you. We have times of trouble and distress and burning, like eating ashes and drinking tears.
Psalms 102. Hear my prayer, Lord, and let my cry for help come to you. Do not hide your face from me in the day of my distress. Incline your ear to me. In the day when I call, answer me quickly. For my days have been consumed in smoke, and my bones have been scorched like a hearth. My heart has been smitten like grass, and has withered away. My enemies have reproached me all day long. For I have eaten ashes like bread, and mingled my drink with weeping. because of your indignation and your wrath. For you have lifted me up and cast me away. My days are like a lengthened shadow, and I wither away like grass. But you, Lord, abide forever, and your name to all generations. You arise and have compassion on Zion. For it is time to be gracious to her. The appointed time has come.
The day of the coming of the Lord, when he is gracious and shows favour and mercy to us. This day is the day of judgment, when the nations and kings, the rulers of wickedness in the heart, are judged and show fear to the Lord. As the new heavenly kingdom is built in the meek, the former strong rulers face the appearing of the Lord in glory.
Surely your servants find pleasure in Zion's stones. So the nations fear the name of the Lord, and all the kings of the earth fear your glory. For the Lord has built up Zion. He has appeared in his glory. He has regarded the prayer of the destitute. To set free those who were doomed to death. He has weakened my strength.
A prime means that God uses to break the kings of the earth is to weaken our strength in various ways. God's people have faced weeping and bread which has been harsh to eat.
Isaiah 30. People in Zion, inhabitant in Jerusalem, weep no longer. He is surely gracious to you at the sound of your cry. When he hears it, he answers you. Though the Lord has given you bread of adversity and water of oppression, now he, your teacher, no longer hides himself.
We might think we are very spiritual, but there is weeping over some things that are not right.
Luke 13. Then you will begin to say, "We ate and drank in your presence, and you taught in our streets." And he will say, "I tell you, I do not know where you are from." Depart from me, all that are doing what is not right. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
The kingdom contains all sorts of people, but those who think they are God's people may face darkness and weeping.
Matthew 8. Jesus said, "I say to you that many will come from east and west and recline at the table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the sons of the kingdom will be cast out into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth."
This is the same thought as in the story Jesus told of Lazarus and the rich man. The poor man Lazarus ended up reclining at the table with his head close by Abraham's side. The rich man faced trouble. Chapter 2. The weeping and gnashing of teeth describes what happens to us where we haven't allowed God to establish His kingdom. God takes out the lawless old nature. This speaks specifically about those in His kingdom, not unbelievers.
Matthew 13. his angels will gather out of his kingdom all stumbling blocks and doing lawlessness.
My paraphrase from the original Greek is, all the things that trap us and the producing and bringing forth of lawlessness.
And will throw them into the furnace of fire. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
There are seasons when bad is taken out from amongst the good in Christ's kingdom.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net cast into the sea and gathering from every kind.
Kind is genos, a race or nation. The inner self is likened here by Jesus to a sea, with all sorts of nations or natures mixed in it.
And when it was filled, they drew it up on the beach. And they sat down and gathered the good fish into containers. But the bad they threw away.
There is bad in the midst of the good. Both are there in this kingdom of heaven. See also Isaiah 33. In Zion, where his kingdom is being set up, there are sinners, or what is sinful. And this sin faces fire.
So it will be in the full completion of the age.
Age in the Greek is aeon, speaking of a period of time, like a season.
The angels will come forth and take out the wicked from the midst of the righteous, and will throw them into the furnace of fire. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
So, Jesus was not speaking of good people and bad people, but rather of how his kingdom operates. Removing what is wicked from where it is mixed in with the righteous new creation. See scriptures in parts 10, 11 and 13 and 14, which speak of how God uses fire.
Have you understood all these things? They said to him, Yes. And Jesus said to them, Therefore every scribe who has become a disciple of the kingdom of heaven is like a head of a household, who brings out of his treasure things new and old.
Jesus could be pointing out that the religious leaders are no different. Any who believe in him also have this mix of good and bad, old and new. Any way in which we come to God not clothed in righteousness results in darkness and weeping.
Matthew 22. And he said to him, Friend, how did you come in here without wedding clothes? And the man was speechless. Then the king said to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and throw him into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen.
Some are called faithful servants, but the worthless face darkness and weeping.
Matthew 25. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. For to everyone who has, more shall be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who does not have, even what he does have shall be taken away. Throw out the worthless slave into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
This judging applies to the household of God, to His people.
Hosea 5. Hear this, priests. Give heed, house of Israel. Listen, house of the King, for the judgment applies to you. First Peter 4. For it is time for judgment to begin with the household of God. And if it begins with us first, what will be the outcome for those who do not obey the gospel of God? And if it is with difficulty that the righteous is saved, what will become of the godless man and the sinner?
Some people, for God's own reasons, are included in the house of God, and some are not. The scriptures which relate to why this happens are found in the presentation predestination. What happens to those not predestined to be in the house of God? See the presentation, God redeemed all mankind through Christ. This was Hell, Judgment, and Eternity, Part 4.